Good evening. Cherish your visions and your dreams as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate achievements. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines.
National Bureau for Revenue announced the automation of excise services. 6th Bahrain Smart Cities Summit kicked off. Bahrain to disperse all government employees' salaries on 21st May. 100% Bahrainization urged in public education. Saudi Arabia approved health insurance for domestic workers.
News in detail with the latest update of the moment. His Majesty the King to participate in 32nd Arab Summit. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa will tomorrow depart for Saudi Arabia to lead the kingdom's delegation to the 32nd Arab Summit in Jeddah. The royal court announced in a statement. His Majesty King Hamad is participating in Arab Summit at the invitation of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Bahrain Smart Cities Summit concluded. While bin Nasser Al Mubarak, Minister of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture, attended the closing of the 6th edition of Bahrain Smart Cities Summit, Al Mubarak said that the summit is considered one of the top specialized conferences in Bahrain, which provide access to international expertise that could support the development of local capabilities in utilizing artificial intelligence in urban development. The conference came out with a number of recommendations, including the development of a comprehensive strategy for smart cities that includes policies, regulations, and guidelines for the development and implementation of smart city solutions. The speakers and presenters of the working papers underlined the need to promote a culture of innovation by supporting research and development, encouraging entrepreneurship, and providing incentives to companies and individuals to develop and implement smart city solutions. The summit brought together 250 local and international participants, including representatives from the public and private sectors, academic institutions, government agencies, engineers, consultants, experts, and specialists in the field of technology, sustainability, smart cities, and engineering. National Bureau for Revenue announced the automation of excise services. The National Bureau for Revenue launched a new e-service for registration of excise payers, licensing, filing, and payment of excise, in addition to the registration of excisable products and more. This came as part of the ongoing commitment to facilitate the procedural operations for excise payers to ensure the effective implementation. National Bureau for Revenue has automated all excise-related processes and functionalities which are accessible by excise payers through the National Bureau for Revenue portal. Automating excise service is a part of the NBR's initiative aimed at easing the process of conducting excise-related activities in the kingdom. The National Institution for Human Rights highlighted Bahrain's experience in human rights. The National Institution for Human Rights and the Council of Representatives held a meeting with the Asian delegation from around 23 different Asian parliaments on the side of the Standing Committee on Economic and Sustainable Development at the Asian Parliamentary Assembly. Ali Ahmad Al-Darazi, NIHR President, praised the support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa to the human rights field that resulted in establishing the NIHR and the kingdom's development in various fields. He hailed the continuous follow-up of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to the development of the institution. Al-Darazi stressed the importance of this meeting to review Bahrain's efforts in the human rights field, thanks to its legislative, judicial, and legal system, which enabled it to be in the ranks of developed countries. Parents urged to protect their children against cyber threats. Parents have been urged to educate their children about the dangers of using social networking and electronic games apps of all kinds. They have also been advised to follow up on their children continuously and make sure of the application they use, in addition to educate them on ways to behave properly when exposed to any threat or danger. The Child Cyber Protection Unit in Cyberspace at the General Directorate for Anti-Corruption and Economic and Electronic Security issued the advisory. The unit noted that it had received reports stating that unknown people from outside Bahrain used fake names and accounts in these applications, with the aim of exploiting and exporting students by threatening them to publish previous conversations or private photos obtained from the child's account on the application that he uses. Parents are advised to submit an official report about such violations or threats by reporting personally to the unit, calling the hotline 992 or sending an email to the unit cpcu@interior.gov.bh in order to take the necessary legal measures to preserve the rights of the child and his family. Bahrain ranked third Arab country in progress in international reading literacy study. Bahrain students have excelled in the progress in international reading literacy study as their academic average increased to 458 points, marking an increase of 12 points compared to the previous results in 2016. Bahrain ranked the third Arab country and 45th in the world in a study in which 5,251 male and female 4th grade students from 119 public schools and 67 private schools in the kingdom participated. Commenting, Dr. Muhammad bin Mubarak Juma, Minister of Education, expressed his pride in these distinguished results achieved by the students of Bahrain despite the challenges faced by the world due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the fact that it is the kingdom's second participation in this international test. He stressed that the development of the educational process in Bahrain is fruitful of the support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the follow-up of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Bahrain to disperse all government employees' salaries on 21st May. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, directed the Ministry of Finance and National Economy to disperse the salaries of all government sector employees on Sunday, 21st May. The move aims to reduce the time frame between payments due to the early payment of last month's salaries and assist government employees in meeting living costs. LMRA conducted 2 joint inspection campaigns in Muharraq. The Labour Market Regulatory Authority conducted 2 joint inspection campaigns in the Muharraq Governorate on a number of shops and work sites. The campaigns resulted in reporting violations related to the labour market and residency laws. The cases were referred for legal action. LMRA noted that a joint inspection campaign was conducted in the Muharraq Governorate in coordination with the Nationality, Passports and Residence Affairs and the Governorate's respective police directorate. The other inspection campaign was undertaken in the Muharraq Governorate in coordination with the General Directorate of Crime Detection and Forensic Evidence of the Ministry of Interior. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
back. 100% Bahrainization urged in government schools. Only Bahraini teachers will be employed until 100% Bahrainization is achieved in government schools, it was declared. Education Minister Dr. Mohammed Mubarak Juma made the commitment in Parliament yesterday during a debate on plans to employ jobless Bahrainis with degrees in education disciplines. He added that no more expatriates were being recruited and efforts were underway to replace those remaining with qualified Bahrainis. Currently, 87% of the total workforce in government schools is Bahraini. In the near future, public schools will have only Bahraini teachers. The contracts of around 1,200 expatriate teachers have been terminated, Dr. Juma said. Saudi Arabia approved health insurance for domestic workers. Saudi Arabia's Council of Ministers on Tuesday approved the application of health insurance rules for domestic workers. The rules were framed by a committee framed under the chairmanship of the Council of Health Insurance and with the membership of several entities. The rules will apply if a household employs 4 or more domestic helpers. Custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman chaired the cabinet session held at Al Salam Palace in Jeddah. At the outset of the session, the cabinet welcomed the leaders of the member states of the Arab League coming to participate in the 32nd meeting of the summit level, which will be hosted by the kingdom next Friday, based on its keenness to sustain joint cooperation at all levels. Dubai announced driving license delivery within 2 hours. Dubai's Roads and Transport Authorities had announced the introduction of a new service for the delivery of driving licenses and vehicle registration cards in under 2 hours. The 2-hour delivery service is applicable for residents of Dubai. Those residing in Sharjah and Abu Dhabi can benefit from same-day delivery. Additionally, a new service has been added for forwarding consignments to customers overseas. The services were announced via Twitter on Tuesday. Bangladesh rocked by power cuts as deadly cyclone hit gas supply. Bangladesh faced its worst power cuts in over 7 months as a deadly storm forced both of its floating liquefied natural gas terminals shut, less than a month after a scorching heat wave caused widespread outages in the South Asian country. Millions of Bangladeshi citizens have been hit by frequent power cuts in the recent months, as erratic weather patterns and high global energy prices have made fuel supply to power plants unreliable, Reuters reported. Power supply was about 17% short of demand on Monday, while the deficit was more than 14% on Sunday. Data from Bangladesh's grid operator showed the worst shortages were witnessed after midnight. The data showed Bangladesh Summit LNG Summit, which resumed operations late on Monday, will boost supplies by 2/3 to 500 million standard cubic feet per day on Tuesday, the chairman of its national gas company said. Indian National Congress yet to announce the new Karnataka Chief Minister. The Congress Central Leadership continues to hold talks to select the new Karnataka Chief Minister days after a thumping win in the state assembly elections, as speculations were rife that Sitharamaiah was leading the race to the post. Congress Karnataka in charge Randeep Singh Surjewala said that the Chief Minister's name will be announced by Mallikarjun Kharge maybe today or tomorrow after due deliberation. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.